How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Ask That Podcast on YouTube. Just want to check. Okay, it is in here. Just making sure. Alright, DVDs. I'm going to do oddball DVDs. Well, this one, it's an oddball DVD with a fucked up story behind it. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when both my maternal grandparents were still around, one of my aunts, I can't remember which one it was, would do the shopping for them for my Christmas presents. And they'd always tell me, my aunt would just tell me, hey, make a wish list like Amazon. DVD Empire was the big site that I used for DVDs. Make a wish list there, I'll get you stuff. Well, I'd made a wish list. And it was like one day I got home from work, I'm sitting on the computer. I was fucking around with the wish list. I left it open, went and did something. A buddy of mine came over, hang out for a little bit. I went to go use the bathroom, I come back, and he was on the computer. He's like, yeah, I was just checking me. I was like, all right, cool, you know, I didn't think about it. He added this to my damn wish list. This is Caligula, the Untold story. Unrated version. Warning. Viewer discretion advised. This film contains nudity and sexual situations. Got Laura Gemser, Black Emmanuel, and she also designed the costumes in Troll 2. And David Kane. Now this is from Soft Touch Video, and I hate this. Okay, that's the front cover, but if you put it on the shelf, the title's upside down. All right. Rome, capital of the greatest empire in the world has ever seen, became during Emperor Caligula's era a city of unrivaled lust and erotic indulgence, a place where nothing was taboo. Caligula was the most sensual, indulgent, depraved, and cruel of the Roman emperors. Nothing restrained him. Glutton, pervert, epileptic, paranoid, and insomniac. This is his story. Starring Laura Gemser, Emmanuel, The Joys of Woman, and David Kane as Caligula. Unrated version of an erotic classic. Soft-touch video, Caligula, The Untold Story, bunch of names, runtime 92 minutes, digitally mastered Dolby Digital interactive menus. Yeah, this is a VHS rip. I don't know how uncut it is. It's the only version I've ever seen of this, but it's a VHS rip put on a disc. And it's a pressed disc. It's not, I mean, so it's a silver. It is not a burnt disc. But the story behind this, okay, so it got put on my wish list. I didn't notice it. I sent the wish list off to my aunt. Well, she'd always look and pick out a few things because she did shopping for herself and my grandparents. And then she'd tell my uncle, because him and I watch the same movies. He's the one that got me in all the horror and science fiction shit. They go pick out a couple of things. Well, he saw this and was like, oh, this would be great. And he made sure it came from my grandparents. My grandparents were like, in their 70s and 80s at the time. My grandpa was quite a bit older than my grandmother. So it's Christmas morning, open up presents. I'm pretty sure probably the youngest person there was my cousin Eric, who was like 18, 19 at the time. He was in college, I'm pretty sure. I don't think anybody had there was any kids there that year. Open up, and this is what I get from my grandparents. A fucking Skinamax After Dark titty movie, pretty much. It's like the Italians, when they used to rip off everything in the 70s, when Penthouse and Bob Guccione Jr. and all them motherfuckers did Caligula with Malcolm McDowell and all that. They're like, hey, we're gonna rip this shit off, and we'll get Black Emmanuel to be in it. But boom, we get Caligula, The Untold Story, which I got from my fucking elderly grandparents at Christmas. And that's why I've held on to this, because I'm sure there's better copies of this on disc now, or I can find a better quality download. But because I got it from my fucking grandparents on Christmas. I held on to it all these years. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, boom, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, all the other bullshit. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.